Welcome to Emergency Freezer Meals. I guess that's what we're gonna call this. I have some friends in an emergency situation. Quickly, what I'll say is someone in their household, either a mom, a dad, or a child, has been in the hospital for a few days, came really close to near death, and they don't know what's going on. So the meals will start for them in a few days. Information I got was the head of the household in particular is able to like sit down and eat at night, but can't think about food, can't think about anything, how emergencies go. That person is gluten-free and dairy-free, and the kiddos at home are gluten-free. So what I am doing really quickly, now I just finished a bunch of 40 freezer meals, but those are not gluten-free and dairy-free. I do have gluten-free and dairy-free recipes. If you go up over to largefamilytable.com, I do have a good collection of those. I also have gluten-free and dairy-free cooking packs, but that's not the point right now. The point is just really quickly this morning, and Travis is doing stuff with kids so I can do this, dump something quick in my slow cooker for them tonight, and then get them as many as I can pull together, several dinners worth of slow cooker freezer meals that they can just dump and go. we're gonna take a slow cooker over there. I mean, they probably have one, a lot of people do, but just in case, tonight's dinner will come in a slow cooker, and then every morning, someone in the household can dump that night's dinner in the slow cooker while they're running back and forth to the hospital. So I don't have a gluten-free kitchen. They do not have celiac. It's gluten sensitivities, and in those situations, you know, I just do the best that I can. I don't gluten them on purpose, and I always give a disclaimer, my kitchen is not gluten-free. And I think that's what anyone in a meal train situation who doesn't truly operate a gluten-free kitchen does. And the head of household there said even if the meals weren't dairy-free, other members in the household can have dairy. So basically I'm just thinking meat and vegetables, right? But I just wanted to see sauce-wise what I have up here, and then we're gonna go to the basement and see what we can pull together. So I've got some diced tomatoes, some sauerkraut, some salsa, and then these are always excellent to dump in with, chicken, pork, or beef. Yes, it's spicy, but if you like that, this makes a great quick dinner. And these are all gluten-free. Also, again, I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, and I might not, this is all spitballing it, as the saying goes, but I'm getting my little pack together here. I'm getting into all my grain-free, gluten-free noodle stash. I'm thinking I could do these with a sauce, and they could be in the refrigerator to go in the oven tomorrow night, so maybe not a dump and go slow cooker meal tomorrow. I do have these boxes of gluten-free, and I'm sorry, it's not gluten-free. These are, okay, gluten-free and dairy-free macaroni. I had 2 boxes of that. Again, I'm just gonna get some of these things to my kitchen. I had some sauces. I have, well, of course, I have coconut aminos, and I don't know, I will look this up. You're probably shouting through your TV at me. I'm just going to take this in. Paleo, keto, okay, gluten-free, MSG-free, got that. But then I had 2 barbecue sauces. So this is a primal cherry, and it is paleo, it's AIP. Usually that means, not always, okay, PF, what does that stand for? This is not saying gluten-free on here anywhere, so it's probably not. Certified paleo. Okay, so just because it's AIP does not always mean it's gluten-free, I think. But this one says naturally gluten-free. Okay, and that's paleo AIP barbecue sauce. I had some sugar-free ketchup, gluten-free. I was just, you know, spitballing in my head. I guess that's my phrase this video. If I did ground beef, and if I did this ketchup, and I do have, it's a sugar substitute, not that they're sugar-free, but it's a brown sugar alternative. And then what else would I put in there? Maybe the aminos. Anyway, trying to make them like a sloppy Joe thing maybe. And then I had this seasoning, but it doesn't mean it's gluten-free. Let's see here. This is AIP, but it does not say gluten-free. Again, this is just me trying my best to help this family so they have dinner this week and they don't have to think. Okay, so those 2 I'll leave out. I feel better about doing some kind of easy oven casserole for them with these kind of noodles instead of spaghetti noodles. So we'll see, maybe I can get 2 casseroles for them. Okay, so I thought we were going to the basement to get meat, but looks like I already filled my bag with other ingredients, so we will go get meat next. Alrighty, so I have my produce here, but again, so this group of friends in particular, they have ingredients at their house, but they can't throw nothing or do nothing. I'm sure I've brought that point home, right? But anyway, butternut squash soup, we can do that. Gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, all the things. So I'm gonna get some of those over here. I do have, I'll show you, but I got several smaller chickens. I'm just gonna throw those in the pressure cooker this morning. Okay, so let's see. I do have, woohoo, I don't know if I've showed you guys here yet, but this is our whole cow that we purchased, the cow tongue. This is part of the tomato collection we'll be getting into here in a few weeks. Also, then over here in this freezer, we have, come on open, there we go, a little bit of the cow spread into here, and then we have the whole hog that's here, and you know, even put some things around the top there. So we've got, I can do some beef stew. These are 1 pound packs. And these meals are for just a handful of folks, like up to 5. So that can help us with our ingredients. But again, I don't want to make it too complicated. There's a pork tenderloin. Just want to make it so they can dump the ingredients in, and then that's evening, afternoon, 2 in the morning, whenever, sit down and eat a hot meal. I might even do some sausage things, because I mean, sausage and the gluten-free noodles alone would be good. And yes, my supply of radishes. And I have these lemons that almost got away from me, so we'll process those later today. It's definitely a grocery shopping in my basement morning. Now, this stuff that's sitting on my concrete basement floor, this is for my family. And then this stuff that we're going to pull together for some emergency freezer meals for a friend of mine, this is for her family. I do have a kiddo that's going to bring another bag down because I still, like, even for tonight, I might just, like, as easy as possible, like, I need to get the dinner cooking now. That's what I'm trying to say. So all this other stuff, the soup and the this and the that is super, but that's going to be in between homeschooling over the next several hours. I need to get something cooking that's no-brainer for them tonight to actually eat quickly. Quickest no-brainer thing to me is always a roast, and so I'm gonna get 1 in for her family, and then I also need dinner for my family tonight. Ooh, let's see here. So I organized this the best I could. I did have some baskets and then some things I don't. I got roast on the top here. So that's a top round. Oh, this is a nice big chuck roast. Okay. Okay, so this 5 pound, almost 6 pound chuck roast, I think I'll throw in because I'm feeding, you know, all the people I'm feeding. And then I have a round roast that's 3.9 pounds. And so I think I'm going to throw that in for them for their dinner tonight. And I'm just going to do a copycat dinner for both families. So since these roasts are frozen, I was thinking through this. So it's not good at any point in time, at any point in the universe, to put frozen meat in a slow cooker. It's best, and food safety regulations, best to defrost it first. So I have 2 Instant Pots. Yay. I'm going to do our dinner tonight in the Instant Pot. I'm going to do their dinner tonight in the Instant Pot. Okay, when theirs is done, I'm going to just transfer it to this slow cooker, just on warm, and I'll deliver it to them in this, along with the other food that you'll be helping me pull together. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, we're going to deliver all these meals to this family too. And then also for my fridge, I got out a variety of other veggies that I had in there just to see what we can pull together with all these. And I think with the butternut squash soup, I'm going to add winter squash as well. And then again, just going through what I had in the pantry that's also gluten-free and dairy-free. Both of these are dairy-free, and they both, I looked at them and they told me, okay, Yeah, dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, and then this one, dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free. Again, I don't know that we're going to use them. I just made a little recipe list, but again, I just want to have options. So here's to the whiteboard what I just planned out. We're going to do rosemary and garlic roast and radishes. That's going to be for tonight. We're also going to do our butternut winter squash soup. I figured this will go along for their dinner tonight, plus they can have some portions for the freezer. We're going to pull together a chicken and vegetable soup, which we'll have bagged up and ready to go in the freezer. We'll just wing it here. We're going to do a chicken casserole with those gluten-free noodles. Now, I've never freezer tested those noodles. Side note, while I'm doing this, I'm going to put a pan in the freezer and we'll test it out. But for them, I figured if it was prepped and wrapped and ready to go for their oven, they can keep it in the refrigerator and they can take it out of their refrigerator either tomorrow evening or even the following evening. This will just be a prepped and ready. Hey, look, make ahead meal ready to go. We'll do a pork roast for the freezer. That might be one that I just throw one of these sauces on as a marinade. And then I would like to pull together sloppy joes for them as well. And that's just a reminder for myself. They have bread. If they're living the gluten-free life, they have bread already at their house that they can work with. Even if it's, you know, sandwich bread, they can toast it and do the sloppy joes on top. I figured this is going to give them 6 meals plus leftovers. So I'm counting it as 10 or so meals for them, because these soups either could be a side item or go along, you know, for lunches or whatever. But they said breakfast they got, lunch they, you know, they're at the hospital or whatever, but it's just dinners that they need help with. So this should definitely help them. There's also a meal train set up, so other people are going to be bringing food. It looks like it's not starting for a few days. So my thinking is if they have dinner tonight, dinner tomorrow night, and if the rest of these items go in their freezer, that'll help fill in the gaps for meal train nights that, you know, if there's a gap, or even when the meal train's done, they'll have some dinners ready to go. Okay, I'm pulling out all the reinforcements here. Okay, so here's the plan. Kids are doing math, but we can get this done. So I'm gonna put the I'm gonna put the chickens in this Go-Wise pressure cooker. It's a 14 quart, and you know, I don't think these are even sold anymore, but it'll be linked down below because I know over the years several of you have bought this one because you've seen me using it. Anyway, we're going to get a bunch of the smaller chickens in here, and then we're going to get the different roast dinners going in here. We're going to run them all at the same time. Travis said it should all be okay. Of course, in your own cooking in your own kitchen, you want to avoid or watch out for this wire hanging situation. But of course, I am over here cooking and supervising this situation, so that's why it's okay in my kitchen for right now. So I have a batch of chickens that we did that several chickens in this particular batch just didn't get absolutely like overly huge. So some of these are 2 in a bag. These are the chickens I want to cook up in a little bit bigger electric pressure cooker, and we're going to do chicken things with them, but I need to do the cold water defrost method on them to just, you know, get them out of the packages that we sealed them in. And then we're going to do some cold water defrost on these roast as well to get them. Again, this is just to remove the packaging. Okay, so I don't overfill my bigger pressure cooker, there's a total of 4 chickens in here. And then there's 2 in this smaller Instant Pot. And then there's their roast for dinner tonight in here. Me getting my roast going right now isn't the priority. I can throw that in once theirs is done. Yes, okay. Am I throwing any seasoning in with these? So even my garlic powder, my Great Value garlic powder, says it may contain traces of wheat and dairy and list all these things. I do have this Bragg's Organic Sprinkle 24 Herbs and Spices Seasonings. It says certified gluten-free And it has rosemary, onion, garlic, thyme, red bell pepper, carrot, has a variety of things. I'm going to just sprinkle this in all of this right now because it's something at the moment. Oh, and I do have some actual rosemary, one of them too. Oh, and I was gonna do garlic. Okay, we're pulling it together, this is good. And I also have some of my freeze-dried onion, so we don't have to prep an onion right now. I'm going to just sprinkle in each of these. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the Instant Pot and the Go-Wise pressure cooker going with the chicken. See, I have 2 Go-Wise cookers. I'm sorry, Instant Pot. That one goes on that one. I'm just going to cook these on high for an hour. Okay, and there are charts and things online where you can do the math and break it down as far as, you know, how much time for X amount of pounds of frozen meat. I'm not even sure how many pounds of frozen chicken I'm cooking, but an hour on high in the pressure cooker is what I'm going with today. Okay, and of course this wonderful grass-fed roast is going to cook up and have lots of good flavor and be very juicy and all of those wonderful things from the meat itself cooking. I'm putting some more of this seasoning on the radishes because again, I'm not 100% sure that all of my seasonings are gluten-free, but I can at least tell her with this one what's in it. I think we're pretty good on that one. And then of course we have the onions in there. I gotta grab my lid. Okay. And this one I'm doing at 45 minutes. This is a newer Instant Pot. So some of the buttons look different, but it's pretty good. This is my older one. The little, you don't have to turn it like with this one to put it on ceiling or vent. You do turn this little knob. That's part of the difference there. But anyway, that'll cook their dinner. Alrighty, so this is, besides the makeup, I know this has nothing to do with emergency freezer cooking video, but I do have to run a teen back to the dentist for a follow-up appointment for a procedure they had the other day, and Travis and all the other kids, it's afternoon now, are doing all these other things. So I'm going to run them out, and then when we come back, we're gonna do some more prep, and then I have an hour phone call, and then we'll have more prep time. I'm just kind of updating you with how the day's going, okay? Okay, we're doing it though. We are just leaving these pressure cookers here. No one else is in the house. No one else is here babysitting them. Travis knows they're here. So anyway, stay there, pressure cookers. Okay, so I'm back. Didn't take too terribly long. Anyway, so their dinner looks like it's done. So I'm gonna check that out and see about getting our dinner going. I think that sounds like what we'll do. Again, I'm going to transfer theirs to a slow cooker and just put it on warm. And either I am going to take it or I have another friend who might be able to come by. We're working things out, as you can tell. Let's do this now. Let me not set my camera on another Instant Pot where it's too hot. Okay, so this is how things are looking in the Instant Pot. All right, so here is how things are looking. Of course, I'll have to set my camera down. I want to put the meat down in the broth that it made. Put more radishes on the top. But I'll do that here in a minute. going to dump in more of my freeze-dried onions, which those look like they cooked up just lovely in the other roast. Alrighty, so this is how our pot is looking. And I can't get to the chicken until after my phone call, but that's okay because it keeps it warm in the meantime, so I'll circle back to that. Okay, so I'm at least going to give us a check mark for the roast. The butternut squash, winter squash soup is in progress. The chicken's done, so I'm going to get started on processing that for the casserole and for the soup, and I have the ground beef on the stove cooking to do the sloppy joes as well. I don't know where I set that pork roast. I know this morning I had one. It's not in my bags here, so well, I gotta go downstairs and see what I did with that. Getting my tea sipping that my future self will thank me for. We've got the Jamerrill's eyeballing school, because I'm certainly doing a lot of that today. And also the We Like Adventure Around Here cup going. So anyway, here's our chickens all cooked up, and I'm going to go through now and get a bunch of these. Well, I'm going to peel down. They're hot, but I'm going to peel down what I can with my pretty little fingers here. And we are going to get the chicken and then the broth that was just made from the cooking that I've saved in there. I'm going to get all that cooking with several quarts of water in my Dutch oven on the stove. So since we do have all these chickens cooked up here, we got a lot of homegrown bones to do homegrown bone broth. And so I'm doing a quicker soup that we're gonna make some stock out of. Probably let it cook an hour or so. What time? It's 4:38. But I'm going to save the bones, and we'll do that coming up. And I always pick my chickens down a lot, and I spread the meat apart also. Just years of picking chickens, and I used to, even before homegrown chickens, I would buy, back when my grocery budget was $250, $350 or so a month, I would get the big bags of the leg quarters. I would get 2 or 3 of those bags and cook those down. I'd boil them down and pick the chicken off for things that I was making throughout the month, and use the broth and all of that. But I just became really aware of how much I needed to pick through the chicken, because the last thing you would want is for a small child to be eating your soup or eating your casserole and to get a little chicken bone in it. So I'll show you how all this chicken you just watched me, I want to say pluck down, but peel down. This is what we got to work with. Okay, so I am, like I said, I am going to take a knife and we will dice this up nicely. And I just threw like the bigger rosemary sprigs in there. And then this is what's left. Now, again, if I had more time, I can pick this down further. There are definitely like several whole turkey necks in here that could be picked down. And like there's a little wing and there's another turkey neck, excuse me, chicken neck. But I mean, I got most of it. Like that's another little wing. I'm not gonna worry with picking little scraps of meat off of that. But all of this is perfect to make some absolutely fantastic bone broth. So we will get going on that, but I'm gonna focus on this chicken for right now. So I'm gonna say this is about 3 to maybe 4 pounds of chicken. Is it 4? Is it 3? Anyway, just for those of you who are watching who will want to know this, again, this is eyeballing school. I don't have a recipe typed out for this, but if you check over on largefoodtable.com, maybe I will by the time this video comes out. But anyway, I'm going to just get this going in the stock pot, and then we are gonna add in more water. And then I also brought up some carrots. Of course, we do need to cut them down, so we'll add carrots to this too. So there's the beginnings of a gluten-free, dairy-free, homegrown soup for them. Okay, and so catching up on what I just did, using my pot filler and my measuring cup here, I ended up doing a total of 8 quarts of water. So it was about 2 quarts of the broth made while cooking the chicken. And then I added 8 more quarts of water. Now I'm going to saute up the butternut squash and the winter squash. I'm also going to do some zucchini, and I'm going to chop up the carrots as well. But those don't need sauteed, they're already cooked. We're gonna see how much vegetables we can add to this. And I'm also gonna douse it with a bunch of salt and pepper. And I'm also doing a tablespoon of this seasoning in there as well, because I feel like this is a pretty safe seasoning for them. So in lieu of me not getting this bone broth started, I mean, I could just throw all these bones in the refrigerator. I think I'm just gonna put them for a nice long time in this pressure cooker and get that going. I was just getting some of the rosemary and little chicken pieces off of this container that I held the meat in. I have another Instant pot over here that I also cooked some chicken in. I was filling up some. Look at me, I won't let it get too full so I can carry it sensibly. Get this full. Okay, so I'm going to use my onion chopper, and I'm getting these out. You know, I just used the last of my freeze-dried onions. Oh, I see you over there, friendly, on the floor with that little bit of butternut squash. Anyway, there's some more things I would like to saute some onions for, and so we're going to get that. I'm going to put it in the butternut squash and the winter squash soup, probably some more in the chicken soup, also in the sloppy joes. I'm cutting it close on time, but we're going to do that pork roast real quick too, and I'm just going to throw a marinade with that. Oh, and I'll put an onion in this chicken casserole that we're going to use the gluten-free noodles for. I'm probably going to end up putting some butternut squash and zucchini in that also, because that's what I have here. Okay, so I've got the other half of the onions already sauteed. My big Dutch oven here. Just doing all these together. Also, butternut squash is happening over there. Got to do the zucchini. It's kind of like an hour from now is when I told them I would be delivering all the meals. We might be cooking until then, but we're doing it. So for the sloppy joes, I got the tomato paste open. We're gonna also put in some of this barbecue sauce and this ketchup. I've totally forgotten to throw garlic in things. I didn't see anywhere on here where this said gluten-free. I mean, you know, we know garlic is gluten-free, but they just get things contaminated really quickly. Is Great Value minced garlic in water gluten-free? Let's see what we can find out. Yes, Great Value minced garlic family size is gluten-free. And that is what I'm looking at, family size. Okay, worth a shot. Okay, so per Google, the Great Value family size minced garlic in water is gluten-free. Okay, and so the tomato paste also says gluten-free. So I'm going to do about a cup of the ketchup and a cup of this barbecue sauce. I'm going to throw some garlic in there and some tomato paste. Now, the big debate that I have learned on the internet is that putting brown sugar in, or this brown sugar replacement in sloppy joes, it's actually controversial. Because when I do like sloppy joes in the skillet or in the slow cooker, a lot of the main ingredients are ketchup and mustard and a little bit of brown sugar and some other things. I can link that recipe below for you too. But anyway, I've just been in a lot of, do you put brown sugar in the sloppy joes or do you not? There is not much in here. I'm gonna say it's probably like 3 tablespoons left. This is sugar-free, gluten-free, tastes like sugar, measure like sugar, bakes like sugar, non-glycemic, keto-friendly, tummy-friendly, all the good things. So I use this with a lot of baking and different THM recipes too. Highly recommend. I think I have this on my Amazon subscribe and save. So anyway, but this is all that I have left in the house right now of it, so I should get another order soon. So I'm going to dump this in, just to give it a little sweetness, okay? I'm gonna do it, I agree, that's okay. Hopefully they like it. Got a lot going on right here. We can do it though. Okay, priorities. I'm going to dump this brown sugar substitute in here. Not that much. I don't even think that's 2 tablespoons. So I should fall okay in the controversy for at least this go round. Okay, so 6 tablespoons of minced garlic, 6 ounces of tomato paste, 2 tablespoons of Swerve, that's the brand name I'm looking for, brown sugar replacement, which that's what I use a lot when I make it for my family. In the last controversial sloppy joes I cooked online, it was also the same night I was a pig midwife and I delivered my first pig babies. Yay, go me. Anyway, I didn't have any of that then either, and I just used regular old brown sugar. This is the AIP Paleo barbecue sauce, naturally gluten-free, made with carrots and pure maple, tomato and nightshade free also. And then this is the sugar-free ketchup, which gluten-free, no high fructose corn syrup, preservative-free, certified gluten-free. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put an onion in there. I eyeballed that, but we can say a cup, or I'm sorry, 1 whole sauteed onion, however that ends up being. So this is 5 pounds of ground beef. Probably gonna be too much. Well, you know what I can do? I can put this in 2 freezer bags. So this would be 2 gluten-free, dairy-free sloppy joe meals for their family for the coming weeks. Okay. I think I am gonna put this the other 6-ounce can of tomato paste in here. I'll show you in a moment what I'm looking at. Grab that. I'm gonna go ahead and add the last little bit of this ketchup. So again, for 5 pounds of ground beef, this is a 13-ounce bottle. I would like it to have a little more sweetness to it, or a little tanginess. I don't want to add mustard to it because it has a good amount of, I can't make it any more tangy without having a little sweetness in there too. Maybe I'm not explaining that correctly, but that's what I would do. Maybe a squirt of mustard and a little bit more of that swerve. But again, I don't have any more. Oh, I have monk fruit. Okay, and I got some more tasting spoons here. Start with a tablespoon, and this hasn't, had enough time to cook together yet either. That's okay. I'm cutting it close on time, so trying to get a move on. I think that's pretty good right how it is. Now it does have some fish too. It does taste sweet to me now. And again, I don't know if that's their preference or not, but so I guess you can make it just like that, and then you decide if you want some sweetness and if you want to use something like a monk fruit to do that, and if you don't even want to use the brown sugar at all. There's a lot of ways out there to do sloppy joes. This is what it looks like. Now I'm just going to, again, eyeball the equivalent of an onion in our chicken soup, and I'm gonna dump in some garlic. I feel like I'm on like a countdown cooking show. Like, okay, I've got like 40 minutes until I'm supposed to be delivering these. It's not too far of a distance for us, and I can message. I'm trying to not be super late though. This is my little precious, my first pot, like my first. Well, I've had this over, how old are my children? Well over 20 years. It's it is 5.5 quarts. I'm gonna do the water in this for those gluten-free noodles. And a little too full. So that's how I pour some out. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need that when I get working with this butternut squash anyway. Okay, I'm going to take some of these onions and put it with that other chicken that I cooked to go with our casseroles we're gonna do. What's really nice is I've had a big kid helper helping me so I could pull all this off, get this butternut squash done. I'm just measuring out so I can tell you how many cups using. That's 4, 8, so this is butternut squash and winter squash. Did I say that yet? Okay, so I just covered the butternut squash in the water there. Yes, I can reuse this. We're we're gonna get this to a boil. It's gonna take about 20-25 minutes. Don't ask me, but we're doing it. Okay, lovely update. I actually just found out that there was a mix-up. I messaged my friend who's been the head go-between person and organizing everything, and she said there was a mix-up, and someone actually, because it's 6 now, actually already brought them dinner tonight. They thought tonight was their night, so hot dog, that gives us some extra time, and we can just get everything packed up and not be quite as rushed. You know, we've been doing this all day. So anyway, that little breather. They have dinner tonight. They are not sitting there waiting. She said, don't worry, Jamerrill, they are not there with their forks in hands waiting for dinner. They have been fed. So that is good. So we've already got tomorrow's dinner in the slow cooker for them. They can just warm that up tomorrow, and we'll put all these things together. Yay. So of course, this is where, if I would have done another step that day, I canned, I don't know, was it 72 quarts of carrots, whatever. I canned them in these strips because I figured I could do other things with them on the day I needed them. So here it is, the day I need them. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this liquid. I mean, it just smells like carrots. I'm gonna pour that in the soup because, you know, volume. And then I'm going to chop these carrots quickly. And I have the chicken soup on low. Woo, scared me, baby jump. The butternut squash is spitting some water at us. You can also add chicken broth to your butternut squash soup as well. I just, again, wasn't sure. A lot of the great value broths don't say gluten-free. I do have some canned broth down in my canning area that we could go get. And we'll see. I need to run down there and grab that pork roast also. Earlier we had pulled out, I also pulled out beef, like stew tips, and I pulled out some sausage, and then once I got up here pulling the recipes together, I saw, okay, I think I've got plenty to work with. So I had sent those downstairs, and I had my 13-year-old put those back and bring me back the 5 pounds of ground beef for the sloppy joes. And I'm hoping that I sent that pork roast down at that time and it got put back in the freezer, and that I don't have a random homegrown. These are forested pigs, the farm that we buy them from. It's J&L Green Farm in Edinburgh, Virginia. That's where we've always bought our whole cow and whole hog. Anyway, they forest their pigs. There's probably another term I'm not pulling up right now, but they have acres and acres and acres, and they raise their pigs within the woods, within the forest, and out on pasture at different times. And they also do cows and chickens and turkeys and all that, but just meaning it was a good pure and holy pig, as I like to say. So I don't want to lose a roast, right? And next year we will have our own pork from our own pigs that we are raising. So that will be another new adventure. At least this chicken that I'm cooking with is chicken that we raised and butchered here at home. That's fun. Doesn't have to be, but it's just fun. Fun that it is. Yay. You know, you get favorite burners. Favorite burners already. Like, I love this front left burner. I love this middle front burner. I use the back burners there often too. Where could I? Okay. Now that one's knocked off. Whenever I knock the little gas pieces on the top off, I let Travis get it back on for me. Let's see here. I can do it on this front one. It's a smaller gas ring. Might take a little longer. That's what I'm gonna have to do though, because I still have to work with this here. And this was 2 dead, almost dead, not quite. Needed to be used zucchinis for my refrigerator. We will use my new Costco $27 Cuisinart immersion blender for this butternut squash soup. I don't know if I said this out loud to you all yet or not. I posted some pictures over in my Large Family Table community membership, and I showed them my cooking adventures from today. And I was telling those ladies that some folks like to add heavy cream to their butternut squash soup, but because we're keeping this dairy free, they also might saute the onions and such in butter. Again, Mom is just trying to be as careful as possible here, but I do think this is a large family size pot of soup. So I will probably cut this in fourths, give them half of it. I don't want to overwhelm them either. I am an overwhelming person. So I know they'll get 2 Sloppy Joe dinners. I know they'll get the roast with the radishes. What else am I doing here? We're doing that casserole, which might only end up being 1 pan. Might just be 1 casserole. Then they're going to get butternut squash soup, and then they're going to get this chicken and vegetable soup. These pieces I think are a little too big. I'm going to pick some out and cut them in half a little bit more and drop them in the soup. And I'm sauteing this zucchini. I plan to put some of this in the chicken soup too. And really, I mean, I could put some noodles, some of these gluten-free noodles in it, but I was just trying to keep it chicken and vegetable. So my pressure cooker that I have the bones in for the bone broth, which we're also doing, yay. It only goes up to 2 hours, so I'm going to run it for 2 hours. I didn't put the vinegar, apple cider vinegar in it. I usually run it a couple times, so next go round I will run it with the apple cider vinegar. The reason I do that, like when I do bone broth in a stock pot, it can go over 8 hours or more. I know the pressure cooker speeds up the time, but hey, if I got it in there, I don't mind running it an extra time just to cook it down even farther. I do have a recipe up over at largefamilytable.com for chicken and wild rice soup, and it's got lemon in it. It's just delicious. But we brought lemon up, so let's put that in there. Let's get this mixed up too, and let's saute zucchini. Okay. Okay, we got to go back to Google school here for something. I had a thought about doing a sauce, like a cream sauce, but using coconut milk. That's what I have here, right? Yeah. I know that the coconut milk is dairy-free, but it's not saying gluten-free on the can. Gluten-free. Boy, I think that was the smallest gluten-free label I've had to look at. Gluten-free certification program. Beyond Celiac, gluten-free. Thank you. Okay. All right. We're doing something now. I'm going to put this lemon in the chicken and vegetable soup. I think that will go well. We're going to get some kind of cream sauce going. I like to use these little lemon squeezers because, I almost said squeamers, squeezers, because it does catch the seeds for me. As you know, I like to drop some lemon seeds in something I'm cooking. Oh, I did not get that lemon juice in my eye. That was good. I just think the lemon juice will add a freshness to it. And again, I'm just thinking of the chicken and wild rice recipe. It's chicken and vegetables and rice, and there's some lemon juice in there, and it's lovely. This butternut squash soup, as simple as it is just lovely. If you like squash, you would probably like this. Anything from the squash family. Yeah, this is great. Again, you could add chicken broth, you could add some cream, but it's lovely how it is. I'm sorry, I just realized how dark is my camera. Sorry. When I do this, sometimes if I, do a little hand motion, my camera will adjust. So, sorry about that. So here's how our butternut squash soup looks, and then this is the chicken and vegetable soup. So again, it's got chicken, it's got carrots, of course there's rosemary in there, there's a sauteed onion, there's some butternut squash, and then some zucchini that I feel like is maybe a little bit too chunky, but that's okay. Some authentic chicken skin, but my farmer friends will not mind. I will either have the recipes for what we've done today up over on the blog, or at least have them typed out for you in the description below. And I can also throw all these in an organized, thought out, because hey, we just did it all, gluten-free and dairy-free meal prep and freezer meal guide too. It's very good. My own personal bowl, I would put some pink Himalayan salt in my own personal bowl. But I think I'm gonna leave it how it is. And I'm just going to tell her I lightly season things. So I just, when you get into talking about salt and pepper and sweetness and tanginess, so much of it is personal preference. And I think this is a good soup that I would personally add a little bit more salt to. Doesn't need any more pepper or anything like that. Okay, so these two gluten-free noodles, chicken, zucchini, all the good things, bakes that we have done for them. We're gonna get these labeled and wrapped in foil now. So anyway, I just labeled these bags. Gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, put 1222 on there. They can reheat these any way they would like. First off, they can just put it in their refrigerator and, young folks can warm it in the microwave whenever, if they need it, and put it on toast or something. Toast their gluten-free bread, that's what I'm trying to say. They could throw it in the freezer and then later set it out to defrost in the refrigerator and put it in the slow cooker the next day to warm it back up. You can also warm it on the stovetop. Trying to divide it down in sensible, average family size, to me looking portions, because 5 folks would probably not appreciate 5 pounds of sloppy joes, although this was so good. So I totally taste tested the sloppy joes because earlier I had a bowl of it while I sat here and had a break. I was like, I'm the cook this evening. I need to quality control, taste test these gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free sloppy joes, and boy, I did. And it is absolutely delicious. Just perfect to me. So there you go. That looks sensible, right? Right? For one family dinner, I have such a hard time. Small family, one family dinner. So I think this is good. And it's all cooled off. So, problem child part of the evening. So these are fine. I can't put the other 2 soups in here yet. They're still not cool enough. This dinner we are going to take in this slow cooker. I'm going to take the soups in these 2 Rubbermaid bins for them to continue to cool. And then when I get there, I will offer to get them in the Ziploc bags, or I'll at least send the Ziploc bags with them. Or they'll just have soup prepped and ready to go in their fridge. Good friends use each other's Rubbermaid containers, right? I'm going to drop this soup off over in these. And so, yes, that's my Mama Dr. Pepper Zero. Messy counter, we're working. I mixed my butternut squash soup and my chicken vegetable soup together, and this is also yummy. So there's the butternut squash soup that we'll drop off to them. This is what will be left for us. Look, I meal prep for us some this week too. And then this is the other half of the chicken vegetable soup. So we'll get some lunches out of this, and then this is the chicken vegetable soup that I'm taking for them. So I tried to scoop lots of the yummy vegetables and chicken in there together. And this is just how the pork roast is going to go down. I actually have a tenderloin. I'm going to throw this in the bag with this and just explain to them. Throw it in the slow cooker. Alrighty, and I made these 2 casseroles. There you go. That helped it a little bit more. A little more. Alrighty, so this is what we're going to load in the car and drop off. Again, we've got a tenderloin that they can defrost and throw in the slow cooker. We've got 2 Sloppy Joe meals. We have this grass-fed beef roast with radishes. We have 2 of these chicken, zucchini, and noodle, put gluten-free, dairy-free casseroles. And then we have our chicken and vegetable soup with our homegrown chickens, yay, and our butternut squash soup. So that should hopefully make a dent for them. Some of this they can throw in the freezer. Some of it they can just say the dinner's prepped for several days and waiting for them in the refrigerator just for them to heat up. Lots of flexibility here. Oh, there's our pressure cooker going. Again, these can go in the freezer. These, once they finish cooling, can go in the bags and go in the freezer. This could be their dinner tomorrow night or the next night. Same thing with this. That could be tomorrow night or the next night. And this, not the bottle, just the meat, could go in the freezer for whenever they want to dump that in the slow cooker one day too. Yay! Okay, I'm just going to write them a little note. Whoops, did I get that off? Okay, that was a new pen. Yay! So I'm just going to tell them everything is gluten-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free. Alright, so here's my little list, just again, so they don't really have to think, but in case they would wonder what was in all this again, because I know, allergy families deal with certain stuff. Everything is gluten-free, sugar-free, and dairy-free. Grass-fed beef roast with rosemary and radishes. Radishes cooked like potatoes. 2 bags of Sloppy Joe dinners for gluten-free buns or bread. Pork tenderloin to defrost and dump in a slow cooker with a gluten-free dressing. 2 chicken, zucchini, and gluten-free noodle bakes made with dairy-free coconut milk cream sauce, homegrown chicken and veggie soup, salt and pepper to taste, butternut and winter squash soup, salt and pepper to taste. So now we're going to get all this loaded in the car and get it dropped off over to them. Okay, they are pulling the car around for us to load, but let's get our happy little check mark. So the butternut squash, the winter squash soup, we did it. The chicken and veggie soup, we did it. The chicken bake, we did it. I'm not freezer testing it right now because I'm giving that food to them. Pork roast, we got 1, and the Sloppy Joes. And then we'll also get our extra check marks for life and stuff. We did it, even made it to the follow-up dental appointment today. Yay. Okay. Put these bags in this bag. And then I'm going to put our nice little list in here for them too, on their bags. Okay, so there's that little pack. Okay, so phone light photography, just showing you there's a little storage compartment in this vehicle. So we've got the slow cooker in here, that should actually stay pretty good. The soups, the bag meals. These 2 casseroles should be fine. There's the directions. I don't know, just felt maybe if we put a towel over things, it'll all agree. But there we go. That's how we are getting it there this evening. All right, so operation drop off the meals was a success. These teas I got seeping earlier in the Jamerrill eyeballing school, and we like adventure around here. Been seeping all evening, I guess, so I need to do some cleanup around here. I'm not doing these dishes tonight. We will think about dishes tomorrow, and I'm going to clean up everything else I can though. And so now it is 9:30 at night. Travis still has most of the kids with him for an evening activity that they have once a week that runs late. I had thought for a moment maybe I would take her the soups in the Dutch oven, but then I think I got more in those Rubbermaid containers than I could get in these 2 smaller Dutch ovens. So anyway, I explained it to them, my thinking with the Rubbermaid containers and how I had the bags there that they could freeze them if they wanted. Now I'm wondering, I don't know if you're gonna see the video. You tell me, how did it all work out? I guess we'll know on publishing day. I did the mega lasagna cook-up video, but I still have 2 more lasagna recipes. So when I woke up this morning, that's what was on my to-do list, was to have a full school day, run someone to a follow-up dental appointment that's not too far from home. And then this afternoon, before we go to our evening activity, I was going to film those last 2 lasagna recipes for our big lasagna cook-up extravaganza video. And even if I would have had those done, the reason I pivoted was, of course, friend in need, right? And also, those other 2 lasagna videos, we're still going to have dairy in them. And then the lasagnas we did for the first half of the extravaganza video had traditional noodles and, of course, you know, gluten and dairy in it. So I didn't want to, so I decided to redo the whole day, and Travis ran the homeschool bulk of the day so we could work here on this side of the kitchen, and that was helpful. And then he ran the kids to activities this evening. I still did the dental appointment run. He did this evening run, and we just focused, thank you for hanging out with me all day while we did this, on making all these gluten-free and dairy-free freezer meals and meal prep for this family. And so from this meal prep also for my own family, I now have, I'm going to put this broth back on and add some apple cider vinegar to it this go round. So we have this. I have a couple quarts of each soup, the butternut squash soup and the chicken and vegetable soup, which several of us will eat over the next couple days. I have the rest of the roast and the radishes. Yes, that's it. So I am inspired to make those sloppy joes again. So this big bag that we filled and drug in here this morning, because again, this morning I was just all about, okay, let me get the components I have together, and then we're going to figure it out from here. So all of this can be put back in the pantry again tomorrow, and then I'll show you. Here's the dishes and the dishes and the dishes, and I'm going to wipe that counter when we come back. But this, again, I choose bed and sleep. So I'm leaving this here to get put away in the pantry tomorrow. And then these are the noodles in the lasagna. We did baked ziti also. So again, this is either old news or upcoming news, but that video's in the works. And so these are all clean here. Those are 2 soups. I'm going to put these away for us also. And then this is some more winter squash that we had prepped that I didn't end up using today. So I'll use that in something here in the coming days too. But I wanted to get, so you see, my floor, I wanted to get what I could cleaned up tonight. But when kids get home too, they're gonna be ready for bed. So in this case, I do not like to leave the house where, you know, floors need swept and dishes need done. My routine, I should call it, my routine for our family is every night we go to bed with a clean house, because then we wake up with a clean house. And 9 times out of 10, you know, out of a 30-day month, I don't know, we'll say there might be 2 or 3 nights where that just doesn't work out. If we get home late, or, you know, had a plot twist day like today, and other family members are out late and all that, we're just gonna go to bed tonight with a bit of a scrambled house. But we will start tomorrow. As soon as we get going in the morning, we're gonna make up for today, and we will get dishes done and get this extra pantry items put away, get this floor swept. But again, I'm just doing some basics tonight. This is my mama self-care, okay? Basics tonight. Tomorrow we will tag team it. When I bought these containers, I bought them because Tiffany over on Beauty and the Beastons, she was using them in some veggie prep videos. But I just use them more like regular old, you know, cheap Tupperware, right? They're Rubbermaid, that brand. So then Mama, clean up late night dinner, roast radishes, butternut squash soup, tea, while I work. I don't know, friends. If it's up to me, I think this butternut squash soup is going to be gone in 2 days. It is so good. It's just so good. Yum. So very good. It's not even going in the freezer. So, and that'll be good. You know, I like living my life like I'm serving a buffet. A variety of things for my family, because I know I have some folks who live here who will love the chicken and vegetable. I have a couple who will like the butternut, but I think I might be the biggest fan, and that's okay. I do have some folks on my squash and zucchini and winter squash bandwagon that I love so much, but I'm happy about this. I would love to, we've got a bunch more butternut squash, and I know it's gonna be fine in my basement where I have it for a good while. We also have 5 of those huge blue Hubbard squashes, and at least 20 pumpkins down there to process, and pumpkin soup is also very good. So just saying, lots of yummy soups in our future. Okay, so these things are meal prepped and going in my refrigerator. So thank you, friends, for just, you know, totally flipping the day upside down, deciding to go in a totally different direction and make all of these gluten-free, dairy-free meal preps and freezer meals for this other family. But also, we got some little extras prep for my family as well. As I said, check out the description below. What have I gotten done? Are the recipes typed out there? Do I have a pack pulled together? We'll see, but I will have one or the other for you down in the description below. Remember, you can always find all of my cooking over at largefamilytable.com, and all of my freezer meals and meal planning guides over at shop.largefamilytable.com. And I'll see you real soon with more Mega Mama, Big Batch, Super Mega, Massive cooking extravaganzas going on. I'll talk to you in those comments below. Bye-bye. Super tired mom face. Almost done with this delicious butternut squash soup, but I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, oh, I could have added a can. You were probably saying that through your TV at me. I could have added another can of the unsweetened coconut cream. Yeah, I think that's what, like, I'm not looking at it right now. The canned stuff that I use to make the cream sauce for the chicken and zucchini bakes, I could have added, so there's another option for you. I felt it was that important that I wanted to come back on and tell you. So bonus points if you watch to the end. I think that also would be lovely in this butternut squash soup. Okay, good night for real. Bye-bye.